quiet kid from Canada just walked into a Toronto restaurant and handed every one of his teammates a watch worth more than most cars on the street. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the laid-back point guard most fans called slept on 3 years ago, just locked up the 2025 to 2026 regular season MVP after dragging the Oklahoma City Thunder to the top seed of the entire Western Conference. The voters were not even close on this one. He won in a landslide, but the bigger story is not the trophy. It is what he did the night the news became official, and what he is doing right now as his team marches into the Western Conference Finals as the heavy favorite to win the title. Stay until the end because the gift he handed every Thunder teammate, the move that has made his own coach speechless, and the prediction nearly every NBA analyst is making for the Finals MVP race may shock anyone watching the league this year. But how did a quiet 6'6" guard from Hamilton, Ontario, end up at the top of the most competitive league on the planet? Shai grew up in Canada with a basketball obsession that started before he could even tie his own shoes. His mother was a Trinidadian sprinter who once trained for the Olympics. His uncle, Nick Gilgeous, played pro basketball overseas. The talent ran deep, but Shai was never the loudest kid on the court. He was always the calmest. Coaches called him quiet. Teammates called him deadly. He played one college season at Kentucky, was picked 11th overall by the Charlotte Hornets in 2018, and was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers the same night. Within a year, he had been shipped again, this time to Oklahoma City as part of the Paul George trade. Most fans wrote him off as a side piece. Nobody expected the next for years. But what made the 2025 to 2026 MVP run so different from his earlier seasons? This year, A.SGA did not just score, he erased opposing offenses. He averaged 32 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds per game while leading the league in steals. He played 80 regular season games out of 82, a number unheard of for any modern superstar. He shot 52% from the field. He hit 40% from the three-point line. He showed up every single night and never once missed a media obligation. The Thunder won 67 games. They locked the top seed in the Western Conference by mid-March. Coach Mark Daigneault called Shai the most consistent player he had ever coached. Even rival players started using the same word: reliable, uncheckable, quiet but lethal. The MVP voting closed at the end of the regular season. Shai won by the widest margin any player had received in the past 5 years. The trophy was his. But the celebration he chose may be the part fans remember the most for years to come. What did A.SGA actually do once the MVP news became official? He flew his entire Thunder roster, including the staff, to a private dinner at a luxury restaurant in downtown Toronto, his home country. The dinner was kept off social media until the next morning. At each seat, every player found a small black box. Inside each box was a custom Demers Piguet Royal Oak watch. The retail price of these watches starts around $40,000 and climbs well past $100,000. Shai had each one engraved with the player's number and a single phrase. Built together, that was not the only gift. Every player also received a tailored Burberry trench coat in the team color scheme, sized exactly to each man, with each coat hand-sewn in London. Just for the rookies, Shai threw in custom sets of golf clubs after learning during the season that several of them had picked up the game on their off days. The total value of the gifts handed out at the dinner was estimated to be close to $2 million. But this story is not really about money. It is about something much rarer in the modern NBA. What does that single gesture actually say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a leader? Most superstars in the modern league spend the off-court energy on their own brand. Sneaker deals, album drops, reality shows, social media empires. A.SGA flipped the entire formula. The dinner sent a quiet but loud message to the rest of the league. The MVP belongs to the team, not the man with the name on the trophy. His Thunder teammates have repeated this story in every post-game interview since. Center Chet Holmgren, only in his 3rd season, said he had never been treated like that by any teammate at any level of basketball. Veteran Lou Dort said the team felt closer the next morning than after any single playoff win. Coach Digno joked that his locker room was now wearing more expensive watches than half the front offices in the league. The Thunder rolled into the playoffs on a high nobody could match. They swept the first round. They beat the second round opponent in 5 games. They are now standing 1 series win away from the NBA Finals. But the bigger question hanging over the league right now is the one no analyst can yet answer. Can Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually win Finals MVP and join the rarest club in basketball history? The list of players who have won regular season MVP and Finals MVP in the same year is short. LeBron James did it, Tim Duncan did it, Kobe Bryant did it, Shaquille O'Neal did it. Stephen Curry finally did it in 2022. Joining the group would push A.SGA past every doubter who once called him a quiet sidekick. The Thunder are heavy favorites in the Western Conference Finals. Their depth is brutal. Holmgren has been a wall in the paint. Jalen Williams has emerged as a true second star. The bench produces more points than nearly any team in the league. Defensively, they have suffocated every opponent. Las Vegas oddsmakers have placed A.SGA as the heavy favorite for Finals MVP at -200 odds. That means books are basically already writing his name on the trophy. His numbers in the postseason have somehow gone up, not down. Through 2 rounds, Shai is averaging 30 for points, 7 assists, and for rebounds per game while shooting 50% from the field. He has not missed a single playoff game. He has hit a clutch shot in the final minute of 4 different playoff games already. The poise in the biggest moments has made the basketball world quietly admit something it resisted for years. A.SGA is now the closest player in the league to the prime Kobe Bryant footwork blueprint. But the playoffs do not care about regular season trophies. Pressure cracks players who never cracked before. Injuries can flip series in 1 quarter. Officials can swing momentum with a single missed call. The question, then, is not whether Shai can win. The question is whether anyone alive can stop him. What this season may really be remembered for is the moment basketball culture quietly shifted. The next face of the league is not the loudest one. It is not the flashiest one. It is the quiet Canadian kid who showed up every night, dragged his small market team to the top of the sport, and then handed his teammates the kind of gifts most players only buy for themselves. If this Thunder run made you a believer, hit that like button and let the algorithm send this video to more hoop heads. Subscribe for breakdowns on every step of these playoffs.